So lots of development and rumors from NFL insiders regarding the Chicago Bears head coaching vacancy. First, Ben Johnson is reportedly intrigued by the Chicago Bears head coaching position, according to Tom Pelissero. Now, I'm a bit questionable about the accuracy of this report just because Ben Johnson is obviously the Detroit Lions offensive coordinator, and for him to go to a division rival, I don't know. I know it's a business at the end of the day, and you got to do what's best for you and your family. And sure, he's going to get head coaching money. He's definitely going to get paid a lot more than he does in Detroit currently. But there's kind of like a bit of loyalty to a certain extent. And I don't know. I just feel like that would be not in a sense of betraying Detroit, but that definitely wouldn't be helping them in the future, especially if Ben is a good head coach. But then again, if the Lions win the Super Bowl this year, then I feel like fair play. You've done your job. You did everything you can for this team, this franchise. You can go literally wherever you want. It doesn't matter. Because, like, that's the thing about Ben Johnson. He came back because he had this quote of saying, there's unfinished business with the Lions and winning the Super Bowl. He was really supposed to take the Commanders job, but he passed on it. And I forget, there was another team that was heavily interested in him as well. I don't know. I just feel like he wouldn't do that to Detroit. But at the same time, you have Caleb, and he is still a young QB that has a lot of potential in this league. And there are pieces on that offense and defense. So, in my opinion, just a really interesting report, and we'll see if it goes through, man. We'll see if it goes through. I think the Bears definitely need to get an offensive-minded guy just because they have Caleb, and they need to develop him and take care of him the right way. No more Matt Eberflus, no more defensive coordinators. I know Mike Vrabel is sort of, well, he definitely is defensive-orientated, but he's a culture guy, and the Bears need a culture guy. So if they can get Vrabel or Johnson, I think that would be good. That would be good. It's just there's more risk with Ben Johnson because he's never been a head coach compared to Mike Vrabel, who obviously has a pretty good resume as the Titans head coach. So if the Bears were to hire either of those guys, I'd be okay with it. You let me know what you think about Ben Johnson and the Chicago Bears. Now, there was also another report from Adam Schefter, which to me is a lot more believable. It makes a lot more sense. Pete Carroll is interested in the Chicago Bears position as well. Now, Pete is 73 years old, and he got let go from the Seahawks this past offseason, even though they had a pretty good year the year before. Pete obviously has a pretty good football head coach resume. Of course, longtime Seahawks coach, won a Super Bowl, really should have won 2 Super Bowls, had some time in the college game as well. I feel like him and Caleb would also be a good pair. It's just if you hire a 73-year-old head coach, not to say Pete doesn't have a lot of gas left in the tank. Last time we saw him, Samuel Pete Carroll, lots of energy, still has it, still has that fire, still has that passion. I know it would be good, but I just feel like it wouldn't be like a long-term thing just because of his age and everything else. So I don't know. I definitely like this as the third option if Ben Johnson and Vrabel don't work out, but in my opinion, this is one of the best head coaching openings for this upcoming offseason, so there's no real excuse for them to pass on Vrabel and Johnson, so I don't know. But hypothetically, if things just go awry and they do end up with Pete Carroll, not the worst thing in the world. I just don't know how long this agreement is going to last. I'd say like 3 years tops, because, I mean, he's 73 years old. You know, like Bill is around the same age, and of course, if he got a head coaching gig in the NFL, it probably would have been kind of a similar time length, 2 3 years championship, or at least trying to get to playoff contention sort of teams. This isn't a rock bottom roster. It's not. It's just they look that way because of just how they were set up scheme wise, coaching wise from the start of this offseason. And we're really seeing the repercussions of bad coaching and bad preparation week in and week out with the Bears. But I'm telling you, if they get a good head coach in for the 2025 year, this team should be at least a playoff bubble team. At least. I'm not saying they'll make the playoffs, but they should be a playoff bubble team, if not a wild card team. Every year, the NFL has new playoff teams in the picture, so I feel like the Bears would definitely be in the mix. Yeah, man, we'll have to see if the Bears are even interested in Pete Carroll's services, because that's the only downside of Pete. If he was a lot younger, fair play, Super Bowl champion, probably could get a lot more years out of him, but 73 is 73, and I know he's still has a lot of fire and passion, but still, bro, like, that's, I don't want to say that's old, but you're kind of getting a little up there when it comes to coaching and just everything and all that. But yes, if things fall apart with Vrabel and Ben Johnson, I would be okay with the Bears hiring Pete Carroll. It would definitely be really fascinating to watch, to see that dynamic of Pete Carroll and Caleb, and to see if they could cook something good together. I just really hope the Bears get this right. I want the Bears to be good. I don't want the Bears to waste another first round talent on a QB just for him to flame out and for him to get traded. Happened with Mitch Trubisky, happened with Justin Fields. And, I was actually thinking about Bears head coaches over the years. Lovie Smith, Mark Trestman, I believe that was his name, CFL guy, Matt Nagy, Eberflus. Out of all those guys, obviously Lovie Smith was the guy there for a hot minute, great head coach, and then they canned him after a 10-6 year. But really, out of all those guys, Matt Nagy is kind of underrated. He brought the Bears to the playoffs twice. The last winning season the Bears had was in 2018, and that was a Matt Nagy team. I don't know, man. I don't know why teams aren't hitting up Matt Nagy. I think he was pretty good as a Bears head coach, and I don't think you could really argue that. He took them to the playoffs twice when he was the main guy there. So, I mean, that's pretty impressive with this sort of franchise. And again, I don't know why other teams aren't interested. Like, why aren't the Jets interested in Matt Nagy? He has head coaching experience. He's learned from the best. Andy Reid, an entire Chiefs organization. Offensive-minded guy. I don't get it. When Andy Reid retires, that dude is going to take over, and I don't think the Chiefs are going to lose a step, a beat at all. I just don't understand. But you let me know what you think about the Bears, Pete Carroll, Ben Johnson, and everything else in between. If you made this far, please subscribe and like the vid. It would help out your boy a ton. That's all I got for right now. Peace.
Is the defense, because they need to sit on the sidelines and get a little rest. So I know there's a lot of pressure on this offense right now.
The Eagles sat at the line. Dime package. Ball's thrown incomplete. Great coverage there by the defense.
Well, when you get in a situation like this, Jim, and you get 3rd and long, I'll tell you what catches a defense by surprise. Run a double move on the outside against the defensive back, because everybody in the stands.
And they sack the quarterback, and that's a quick series, a 3-and-out. All set to punt here. Darren Sproles will return it. And that's a gain of 13.
Jets offense coming back onto the field here, desperately trying to avoid a repeat of their last drive when they had the quick 3 and out.
I'll tell you what, if they go 3 and out again, you know what's going to happen? Those defensive players are going to be looking at them as they come off the field. You put this back out there already, so it's important to get a drive, give your defense a little rest. So far, wonderful execution in this drive. When you get a chance to get out of bounds, here the offensive player got the yardage, had a chance, gets out of the bound, stops the clock. Good job by the offense.
Brings it in along the sideline.
Well, they complete the pass, Jim, but doesn't get the first down. Sooner or later, you got to throw one down the field.
2nd and 8.
That's a touchdown, and that tightens things up.